Valery, that's how it goes with Deniz, and I'm waiting for you for a long time. I was looking forward to it. The conversation, I believe, will be something really stylish, fashionable. Let's talk about Monte Sol. Tell us about yourself and Monte Sol, please.
Yeah, thank you very much for Deniz having me. It's a pleasure, and I was really looking forward to the conversation. So, about myself, I'm originally from Switzerland. I'm since 5 years in Dubai, and I work since 10 years plus in venture capital and private equity investments. So, scaling and backing companies, it's really my thing. When I was a teenager, I also had a sports career. I was 12 years into show jumping, equestrian, so can combine both worlds when it comes to sports, but also business. And I started Monte Sol only like 3, 4 months ago with my co-founder, Mike.
Your baby brand.
Yes, it's a baby brand, but I think that's the beauty in our time. Like we can move so fast because information is so accessible and AI speeds the process up as well. And we're also just that type of people, like when we start something, we're all in. So yeah, we're very excited. I think we really found a gap in the market and just excited to see all the paddle players finally playing in style, yeah. So we're effectively the first paddle luxury fashion brand.
Perfect. It's amazing. It must be an amazing journey for you.
Yeah, it is.
How is it so far? A little bumpy?
Honestly, no. Compared to what we've built before, because again, I'm used to very complex high-tech companies, and also that you feel a lot of resistance, like when you talk to people about something.
So this was fun.
Yeah, this was fun. And like the more we talk to people, of course, like when you start something in the beginning, you're like a bit, oh, okay. Like first you're super excited and then you do a bit research and like the data proves, okay, there is something that needs to be done. But we're just humans with emotions. So sometimes you're doubting. And I also told Mike sometimes like either that's the best thing we've ever done or it's like the dumbest thing. But we literally talked to hundreds of players in the past couple of weeks. And 80 to 90% were saying like when we asked them what's missing in the market, everybody said like something that you can wear on and off court, like really style is missing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we believe it's going to be very good. And for the parts that we don't know how to build it, we really take experts on board as well.
I have so many questions for you. How did you start fashion?
Yeah.
And especially on the paddle clothing?
Yeah. It's a funny story. So Mike and I, we have a passion for paddle. We were playing frequently.
Me too, yeah.
Yeah, I think so many people, especially in Europe and Dubai, all around the world actually right now. And then it was actually Mike that came one day and he was like, we should start a paddle fashion brand, like out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And I thought, why on earth does he have this idea now? Because he comes from marketing and AI automation. Again, I'm coming from finance. Why should we start a fashion brand? But the more I was thinking about it, I started to observe people on the court. I do a lot of my research like on social media. And I really saw, okay, there is no decent brand. And even when I was looking for clothing or fashion myself, like I like to look good and there was nothing decent. Like either it was super sporty or it was so luxury that you can't wear it on a court. So we started the whole thing and I usually I move fast and I take a lot of risks when I do something. And yeah, we just started the whole thing. We were asking our friends and then we did a lot of research, of course. And yeah, I think just really most important is the product, where we also invest a lot of time and money at the moment. That it's really like not only fashionable, but also that you can wear it on court. So yeah, it all started with a funny story. And yeah, again, I'm used to when I start something, I do market research first. So it's not like I just do it out of the blue, because you can have a good idea, but the market needs to validate it as well. And yeah, like the data proved it. And then we just did it, and everything went very fast. So we already produced a couple of pieces, but we gave it like low key to our friends and family to test it, that we get feedback on the product. And in 7 days, 10 days, we're actually traveling to China to finalize the manufacturer for our bulk production. And then like only after 4 or 5 weeks, we're gonna launch pretty international already.
So exciting.
Yeah.
For me, it's, well, I was dreaming about it. Not for pedal clothing, but I have some ideas.
Yeah.
Still, I'm keeping for myself. You know, I'm also at the creative part. I told you.
Yeah.
But on the creative part, I mean, you are lucky. You have the foundations other than the fashion and styling, you know. So that's another something positive for you during your journey, I believe.
Yeah, and I think it's the one thing. First of all, it's just funny how I became from a venture capitalist to our chief designer.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but it was always like I'm a very creative person, and I was missing that in finance. Like
maybe it was stinging you somewhere, waiting for the right time.
Exactly, yeah. And we have like so many ideas for our marketing as well, like really kind of guerrilla marketing actions that we're gonna do soon. And I'm very excited for that.
It's very nice.
And like also like my environment was always telling me like, yeah, finance and you. So yeah, and I think it's the...
You never know.
Yeah, exactly.
You never know.
Yeah, I think it's the entrepreneurial journey. You know, I mean, I grew up in a traditional family and where my parents still were saying it's like prestige when you stay 30 years in one job.
Yeah.
Specifically in the same company.
I can relate.
Yeah, but it's just not anymore.
Yes, and the entrepreneurial life is something totally different. I mean, you must go through it to understand it.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. And I mean, I always kind of felt a bit embarrassed to say, okay, I was working on so many projects, but it's just what's happening these days.
Yeah, it's what you do.
Yeah, and I also think it's very good for the next generation. I think you really should see where are your talents, and then you should work project-based. Yeah, and it's so funny, like when you watch social media, and now it's like quite trending that entrepreneurs tag other entrepreneurs and see what they're doing, right? And then I was scrolling through and I was like, yeah, I'm 18, I have an AI automation startup, I'm 21, I'm a real estate developer, I'm 22, I'm an investor. And I was like, what's going on here, right? When we were early 20s, like we were just in school or university or something like that.
Yeah, I was. Yeah. Why Monte Sol? What is the story behind the brand name?
Yeah. So in the end, we decided, I mean, Monte Sol means mountain and sun, which is like elevated warmth and something that is like made to last.
Yes.
And also here we had like a second name, which was Prestige and Play.
Okay.
So we were choosing between the two. And honestly, like when we were deciding between these two, we were just asking friends, family. Like I even did a survey on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
For me, it's very important, whatever we are doing, that we integrate the community and the people. I think it would be like not smart not to do it, because it's so cool that you have access to so many people. And I
love the name, by the way.
Thank you. Yeah, everybody loves it. It's so funny. For us, again, it was in the beginning, it was very random, but yeah, like, and even we were talking to big brand strategists. They were working with Lululemon and Gymshark and whatnot, and everybody was like, "Oh, we love the name and we love the branding."
Yeah, so
definitely. Yeah. So it was validated again, and we think it also should be short and that people can say it out in a good way and remember it well. So yeah, that was effectively the story behind the name.
And before you told me, your brand for the style and the positioning, it's old money style, right?
Yes, correct.
Why old money style and what is old money style for your brand? Can you talk about it a bit?
Yeah. So for us, old money is not about wealth. It's really like quiet confidence.
The style, right?
Yeah. And of course, also here, it's proven that it's trending and people want to wear it. And they're not like really into this flashy
No,
show
yeah.
off thing.
The quiet luxury,
Yeah.
thanks God,
Yeah.
again becoming more
Yeah.
popular, I
Yeah,
believe.
yeah, exactly, and also like
Trendy,
for
maybe.
yeah, also for the very young audience, I'd
Yes,
say
yes.
they really value it. So that was the thing for, and we like it ourselves as well. Yeah, and then we brand it as old money, new moves because again we see like this quiet confidence, but from a pretty young generation. And that's also where we see the whole paddle community.
Yes.
It's like people that are playing paddle in the morning and building businesses in the evening or in the afternoon.
True.
So this is like the audience that we want to talk to and that we want to reach. And we just feel that this style is really like underlining their personalities.
So it's not just a brand for you, it's also it's like a community for you, I believe.
Yeah, yeah.
How come?
So here is also, of course, I was studying the big brands, what they were doing and why they were growing so fast. And most of them, I mean, they're not selling you a product, they're selling a feeling and a lifestyle.
Experience.
Yeah. And our target group are these kind of entrepreneurs. And for us, it's not only about the clothing.
Yeah.
Like the ultimate target would be if you see somebody wearing Monte Sol, you feel like, this is an interesting person.
I know that feeling.
Yeah, I can have a conversation with them and I know like what to talk to them. And beyond that, also, we want to do like a whole customer experience. And it comes from, in the past, we were running very basic fashion drop shipping stores, right? So you don't do the products, you don't do the fulfillment, nothing. And I was observing the customer journey and I thought it's horrible. Like it comes from a cheap country, it comes from a cheap package. And I thought that's so bad because when you buy something, you're genuinely excited and you want to have
Yeah.
that whole journey. And we really want to make sure that every step, like from ordering, just when you enter the store, it's so nice. I can't wait till it goes like really live internationally. Already there start the experience and that you know exactly what is the material, what is the story behind the piece, and then it's getting delivered to you, the whole packaging, and then of course ultimately the product is the most important thing. Because yeah, you can do the greatest marketing, but if the product doesn't perform, like people
Yes.
wouldn't buy it again. So that whole experience is already important to us. But then it goes beyond. Since again we are entrepreneurs, we are already in conversation, for example, with a lot of paddle infrastructure owners that our customers can go in different cities for some additional benefits to the paddle places, wellness places. And then ultimately, we also want to do like community events, like in the bigger cities, like Zurich, Dubai, New
I was
York.
thinking about it for you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like paddle retreats. And also to me, it was always a goal to do something for the next generation.
Yeah.
And I believe like sport is one of the greatest teachers.
Yes, yes.
It was also for me.
Yeah.
So one day if we can maybe establish like a paddle academy, but where also entrepreneurs are there and the kids can learn something valuable.
Yeah, which would be amazing.
Yeah, yeah. So we already mapped that out. Of course, it will take a bit of time, but
Sure.
yeah, that's really
It's a
what we want to do.
journey.
Yeah.
It's the journey,
Yeah.
right? And what made you choose the paddle thing, especially
Yeah.
in the fashion,
Yeah,
instead of any other
yeah,
style or fashion?
yeah. At first, it
Brand.
was really like an own need because we couldn't find something that.
Is it because you like playing paddle, or does that play any role
Yeah,
in that decision?
definitely. And just the fact also that we couldn't find like a brand that was matching what we were looking for. And then we thought, okay, let's just do it
So
ourselves.
since the beginning, were you looking for the paddle clothing brand, or you just
Yeah.
wanted to enter the
I mean,
fashion?
no, honestly, I never had the intention to enter the fashion world.
Who was that came with the idea? Your friend?
Yeah, he was the one with the idea. Like, I literally never thought I gonna do that. To be fair, and then like when we were playing Padel, I was wearing my normal gym clothes, but already there, like I like to have something that is stylish.
Okay.
But what Padel comes with, I mean, it's super social, right? So
It is.
yeah, and after like usually you go for a coffee, a drink, a dinner, and then you feel a bit awkward in your gym clothing, so you would want to have something that you can wear also there.
But if it's nice,
Yeah,
I prefer to continue with that.
exactly. Yeah. So that was what we were aiming for. Yeah, and then of course again it comes down not only to what we think is cool and what people like. I think in general, when you start a business, you should really go in a particular niche and talk to very specific people, and then from there you can grow. I don't think you should prime a too broad mass in the beginning. It's not that good when you establish a business.
I see that it's fun for you, and so far, it's going well. But I wonder, I wanna know, the choosing the fabrics or designs or finding the right factory.
Yeah.
What about these factors? I mean,
Yeah.
did you have any difficulties in those areas?
So far, not particular difficulties, but it was a funny journey, to be fair, because again, like Mike and me, we know how to build businesses, but there are, of course, a couple of things that we don't know how to do it. And it's exactly what you said. Like, we don't know fabrics well. We don't, and then you need tech packs, like very good tech packs for the whole design because it has to fit, it has to match,
Yeah,
and so
yeah.
on. Yeah, so it's so funny. And then, of course, well, it's the first thing you do. So we went to a lot of stores to
Yes.
analyze our competitors.
Yeah.
For example, Arlo, Skims, Sporty and Rich, and what these guys are doing. But then still we're different from them because Arlo and Skims is like yoga and only active. Sporty and Rich is like more not streetwear, but you don't really wear it for sports. And then what are you doing? You're asking AI, right?
Nowadays,
yeah.
yes.
So it gives you a suggestion. And then, but when we have parts that we don't know, then we're gonna hire like very specific people. So we hired freelancer that were working with Hugo Boss, with big athletes, with other big brands, and just leave the job with them. And then, but it's like just yesterday we had again a conversation about the fabric, and then Mike was said, "Yeah, but it shouldn't be too much polyester and elastan." And I was just laughing. I was like, as if you were pretending to be a designer now. So we're just gonna ask the people. When it comes to the manufacturers, also there, like the more you do research, and that's the cool thing, your algorithms are kicking in, right?
I
So
know,
I got
yeah.
so many recommendations from good
But
manufacturers.
still, it's a difficult process.
Yeah, and
I mean, the finding the right one.
and that's why we go to China.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we have appointments scheduled with like 15 different manufacturers.
Yeah.
Because we got the samples that we have so far. We got from 2-3 different, but I really want to compare. And you could do it overseas. Like literally, you can send them everything. They would send you samples after 3-4 days. They're
I
pretty
know.
fast.
Most of the brands does
Yeah,
it nowadays.
but I wouldn't do that. Like I
Yeah.
prefer to be on spot, and then I can
Yeah.
touch it, I can wear it. And I'm even thinking like for whatever we are producing, I would always want to be there because sending it back and forth, it just takes a lot of time.
Yes, maybe you must have a good experience for a long time after
Yeah.
that you
Yeah.
can.
Yeah. So that's really what we're doing. So we invest a lot in research, but we want to be there. We look that we have the best experts for what we're looking for. So it's not like that we just assume, because I think it just costs you more time, money, and energy if you're trying to do something but you're not an expert versus you just ask the people.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's the
Definitely.
same like We have some experience in e-commerce and meta ads and whatnot, but still we partnered with e-com guys that scaled like multi-million
Okay.
dollar brands. So I think that's rather worth doing. Yeah.
Very nice. And I want to ask you so many questions, but I will choose one. For during your journey as an entrepreneur, while launching your business, what was the most difficult thing for you?
So specifically in regards to launch Monte Sol,
Yeah.
I would really say it's the manufacturer, or that we kind of really validate the product. Because again, we can just test it ourselves, we can give it to friends, but in the end, like really the customers, they have to decide. But I guess that's also learning by doing. And I feel a lot of entrepreneurs, and also we had the tendencies to get a bit stuck and to
It's
try.
like a school.
Yeah, it's like you getting over perfectionistic and you think, oh, I should do this and that. And then you get so many different opinions. I think one time you just have to take a leap of faith, do it. But you should be very hands-on with your customers. Like once we ship out the first 200-300 products, I think I will call or write to every single one of them and gonna ask for feedback, because then it's like,
I did that, you know.
yeah, I think it's very
In the
good.
first year,
Yeah.
I messaged them
Yeah.
because in the first year by the way, the factory part also, it was the most difficult part for me, choosing the right one. That's why I specially asked about that. I mean, because you have ideas as an entrepreneur and you want to bring it to life, you do your research, you consult experienced people, you do everything you can do. But the building part
Yeah.
and the factory part is something you cannot handle,
Yeah, I agree.
out of control, you know.
Yeah.
So for me, it was about the wood.
Yeah.
So it was very difficult to find the right factory and the first product to see the result.
Yeah.
That's why for the first a few of them,
Yeah.
after a while, I called the clients
Yeah.
and asked them and messaged them,
Yeah.
how is the situation?
Yeah.
Is everything okay?
I think it's so smart to do. And then again, like I think people really appreciate it and they would even support you after. And how else would you want to get feedback?
Yeah, you want to see.
Yeah.
And they are still like my babies,
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
every
Yeah.
product I do.
Yeah. Yeah.
And for mothers, the kids are the most beautiful,
Yes.
most smartest. The products,
Exactly, yeah.
they are
Yeah.
also like that, I
Yeah.
believe.
Yeah, but I think it's so good for you that you do that as well, because there are a lot of people that just think they're producing the most amazing thing and they're not willing to listen to the market and the audience. So I think you really should have that flexibility in order to improve.
But it's a character, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I like double checking everything. So,
Yeah.
did you had any mistake during this process that you say, I wish I knew before, or
It was no mistakes so far, but then again, I think the learning really starts when we start mass distribution. And I think we came pretty far in these couple of weeks. So, and I don't really would name it mistakes. They're like always learnings. So I think so far we're in a good way. Maybe like once we look back, we would say, we would do this different. And then also again, like these big brand strategists, they said, yeah, you have to like the colors have to be everywhere exactly the same, and you have to deliver that specific message. And but I think when you start to think and act like this from the beginning, it takes you so long, and it doesn't bring you any further. Of course, like once you're like in the millions with your brand, you can really start to take care about these things. So it's really rather implementing the people and learning by doing. Of course, you should avoid costly mistakes or costly decisions, but you can.
But all of them
it.
happens, especially in the first year.
Yeah.
I mean, as I asked that question, but as an entrepreneur, I believe during your journey there is no mistakes. There is only things that you learn and take your lesson.
Yeah.
And before when they tell me this, I was like, yes, okay, I know you learn something.
Yeah.
But when you go through it, you really see it's like a school.
Yeah.
And the things you did, even if they are not right or enough, you really learn from them.
Yeah. And I also think like the bigger you are, the bigger your learnings or mistakes. I mean, again, I was 10 years in finance and building companies. And when I think back, I mean, we had cases where it cost us a couple of millions.
Yeah.
Like, but that's something that sport taught me. Like, you have two options. Either you're wasting your time and energy in being depressed about it.
Yeah, or
which doesn't
try
bring
to
you
do
any
better.
further, or you just go and find a solution. And that's like really the mindset that we are having. So whatever comes our way, we just try to find a solution immediately.
Yes, but in the beginning you don't know which direction is best for you,
Yeah,
who to
100%.
trust, who to not trust
Yeah.
in the market, or who to listen,
Yeah.
which advice is right, you
Yeah.
know, because everybody likes telling you something during that
especially these days.
process. Yeah.
I mean, you see so many people on social media, and I was working with a lot of coaches in the past for different things. And
I did that too.
I paid a lot of money, and you know what? Like most of the time, I was exactly on the same place I was before. So
it's your journey, you know. I learned that.
Yeah.
But it took me a while, of course.
Yeah.
But I learned that it's your journey, actually, and it shapes you.
Yeah.
And in the end, you find yourself
Yeah.
and you learn a lot and you see what you want to do, actually. And then those informations you learned
Yeah.
and they take you further.
Yeah. And what I also learned is usually my gut feeling is almost 100% right.
That was what I was
right. Like I'm a very rational person.
Actually, you are alone in this journey, but
yeah, so I'm trusting that more and more.
Do that.
Yeah.
Okay, when someone wears Monte Sol, what should they feel? What do you want them to feel?
Yeah.
Or even before looking at the mirror, what should be the first feeling?
Yeah.
Because products, to me, I'm still learning about designing and the creativity things, parts, but an art side, the feeling is the most important thing, right?
Yeah, it is.
For while creating or even while you are selling the product, what feeling should be there for Monte Sol, for the customers, people who choose it?
Yeah. So I love like even when you just open the wardrobe that you're looking forward to just wear it. So really that the materials are feeling good and that you just know you're wearing something very special. And then once you wear it, it's like really that quiet confidence and elevation, because it's like really how you look, it just influences the way you walk, talk, the energy that you're reflecting out of in the world. And that's really what we want to achieve with Monte Sol and the brand. And then again, like literally when they're on the court, because sometimes when you do sport, like you think, oh, I look a bit awkward or sweaty or whatnot. So we really also took care with the fabrics, for example, that you don't necessarily see like sweat spots or something, so that they always really feel that confidence and that they could wear it the whole day if they want to, and that just feel good and even feel like I would not say honored because I would be the one honored like when I see somebody wearing the product, but they're reflecting that character that we are trying to implement in Monte Sol.
Yes, definitely. And you know what? Padel is something very social. So I believe Monte Sol will help people not only with while playing the paddle, but because before starting the match or after paddle, I don't know. Usually, in my circle, people have time to sit and drink something and
Yeah.
have a conversation.
Yeah.
So the your point for the Monte Sol, I believe it's really right
Yeah.
on track, huh?
Yeah, we think so too. And as you said, it's so social. Honestly, like most of the people, they're even just there for the social part.
Yes,
Not even
really like that.
particular for the paddle part. So yeah, I agree.
Did you launch the brand or will you
Yeah.
or
So
how soon?
yeah. So we gave some pieces to our friends and family to test it.
Yes.
So a few pieces are around the world already, but we're really gonna start bulk production like after we travel in 10 days to China.
Maybe in September earliest or May.
Yeah, or even like our target is really like after 4 to 6 weeks.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Sooner than
Yeah,
that.
so when we're gonna do like limited drops, so it's not like that every piece is just limitless available.
And how is the market? Do you planning on digital launching?
First digital, but then also from a certain point on, we're gonna do it physical.
Yeah, with the showroom, right?
Yeah, with the showroom. And for example, just yesterday I had a conversation. There is like one super posh paddle tournament in Miami, so
Okay.
that we're gonna have a space there or something, because it's just nice to connect with the people as well.
It's very fun for me.
Yeah.
And what about social media? Is it helping? Do you believe the social media is helping luxury brands or maybe hurting them?
I think
What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think it's a bit both. For
Yeah.
us, it's a blessing, to be fair, because you can reach so many people
Yes.
with literally, I mean, what we're doing is like really we share our founder's journey on our social medias, which also gets attention to the brand. And even just yesterday, it was so cool to see, like when our friends received the first pieces, they started to post about it, and we already got a lot of inquiries. So I was very happy about that. And again, that's like free attention, which you should use, right?
Definitely.
But then I would also say, because everybody can post and there is a lot of new stuff, and as we just had a private chat before, like attention span is so low.
Yes.
So it's really, you have to know how to catch the audience.
For me, it's like difficult to build a community there for luxury brands. I mean, of course, still we are learning and we are not the perfect expert maybe on the subject, but while building your brand, maybe that's the best way to learn.
Yeah.
And you see that how social media should be used to reach the right targets
Yeah.
or to create that community.
Yeah.
And it's I believe the difficult process for social media maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, you reach a lot of people with the right product and ads and with so many tools. But the right target audience,
Yeah.
right? And creating that community,
Yeah.
making people interested,
Yeah.
and the engagement is very difficult.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I think ultimately it comes down really that you're going to have a good product and people start recommending it. And that's also our target to do.
Also, what I heard, I will share it with you. I mean, what I heard in a conversation about these, like, all of the luxury brands, for the audience of them, if they don't engage with the brand page, that's okay and that's good. The view is important, they say, because for the luxury brands, what I was told is the audience usually doesn't want to engage. They just want to see, look,
Yeah.
maybe like,
Yeah.
but just to view, you know?
Yeah.
So the views are more important than the engagements.
Yeah.
But still, of course.
Yeah, I agree. We even had that conversation. We were thinking of branding one of our caps with the slogan like "Old Money, New Moves."
Yeah.
And then we were like, yeah, but even if we talk to the new entrepreneur generation, but nobody want to be branded as old money.
Like
they
that.
want to look like, but they don't want to have the slogan on it. So it's what you're saying, like they wouldn't engage. And it's so funny, like the most sophisticated people, I literally found, or they were messaging me and they had almost no followers, no picture on their
Yeah,
social
yeah.
media. And then you figured out, okay, yeah, these are like big families in Switzerland or where we've been, and I was like, okay, yeah, that's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
And I think it
definitely.
was also Lamborghini that said, like, or they were, or I don't know, Aston, why they don't do advertising on TV.
Yeah.
it's
Lamborghini.
Yeah.
For the TV ads.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like because their audience is just not watching TV.
Yeah.
So
How cool, right?
Yeah. So I think we're really gonna find our audience, like even on the court.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Is there anything very special for you during this journey in Monte Sol
For me, I can say it's
from your side?
Yeah, for me, honestly, the whole thing is very special. And it's probably the first time it feels so right to do. And just, I feel so honored that I can make people feel better. And
Can
that
we
they
say
just-
it's like your reflection on the brand?
Yeah, I think so. Because yeah, for the companies, I mean, I was not the founder, right? I was supporting startup founders, and I mean, the projects were exciting, good projects like early cancer detection, sports tech, fintech companies. But yeah, it's like a real hustle to disrupt markets, and again, you have a lot of this resistance, and you don't really know if these projects are going to succeed on the long term. I mean, that's what a startup is for, right? It's just part of the game.
Yes.
But with this, like everybody loves it, and like everybody supports it.
Yeah.
And it's just like a really creative thing that we can do. So I'm very excited.
But you
for
know
that.
what? I believe we are, as entrepreneurs and founders, we are all delusional.
Yeah, we have to be.
You know, because I'm like, if I really believe in something,
Yeah.
nobody can change my
Yeah.
mind, or nobody can stop me in believing in it.
Yeah.
You know. So I whatever happens, I still
Yeah.
even if I fail, I still
Yeah.
can say no. We will do this. I will do this, and this will become a huge blah blah blah
Yeah.
blah. So. And that was one of the biggest discussion between me and my husband,
Yeah.
because he's very realistic, you know. So he's look, this is the result. But so that's another part for the
Yeah.
founders and entrepreneurs. But
Yeah.
you know what?
Yeah.
That's what keeps the brand or the product keeps rising.
Yeah.
I believe.
Yeah. And
Believing and never.
yeah, and these people are in the end the ones that change the world, and you hear it so often, right? Like entrepreneurs that failed 10 times and then there was like one big thing and it just worked. But you have to be delusional because
I think so.
yeah, because I mean there are so many people that say that doesn't work, blah, blah. But I have to say in my environment, because I just don't have these people around me anymore, like everybody's super supportive. And I was even thinking, what would I do like if we have our big launch and like there are no sales? I was like, I was just keep on doing it.
Yeah,
I would
of
find a
course.
way.
Yeah. I have one more question for you. When we talk about the creativity, do you choose the designs or are you on the creative part for Monte Sol? Or do you have somebody else for that job?
Yeah, so I literally did all the designs myself for the first collection. And I think I'm doing pretty well.
Even with the colors and
Yes.
everything you did,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Because people in general, like when I'm outside and I wear something, like a lot of people always ask, oh, it's so nice. Where did you get it? So I think I have a good taste.
Yeah.
And that's kind of a blessing which AI can't replace these days. It's like taste and creativity.
Definitely.
So I think you need to have it. You know, it's so funny. We have a we have a social media manager, and he is like such a great guy, literally. But it took us a lot, like to say, okay, yeah, we need this aesthetics, and it should look like this. It's very difficult to kind of
Very.
get somebody there.
Very.
And then even yesterday we did like a video, and then there was like one of the t-shirts was just on a car, and Mike was like, who puts a t-shirt on a car? Like, why?
Yeah.
So you kind of need to have that. So
Yes.
so far it was me doing it, and again, it's the part that I really love. And I'm like always, because of our previous e-com brands, like I know how to track other stores. I know how to track like winning products and what is trending. So it's not like that I only think, okay, this is my taste and it has to be like that. I really validate the products based on other competitors, on which colors are out there, but still, again, brand it with our own style and then send it to a couple of people and say, like, would you wear that?
That really helps, you know, doing that research.
Yeah. But I think also on the long term, like especially with the ladies that we were talking about, the tech pack that are doing that and we're working with big brands, they also have a designer background. So we would also integrate on the long run people like that.
Valery, I had fun.
Same.
And I still have so many questions. Thank you for coming. It was a pleasure for me.
Thanks for having me, Deniz.
To have the conversation with you.
Thank you so much.
Good luck.
Thank you. We can need that, yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.